welcome back. Today is going to be my review of Real Housewives of Potomac season 7 episode 5. Okay, so we start off with Ashley and Candiace. It was really nice seeing them get along, even though it was short-lived. And we'll get into that later. So Ashley just, randomly just quickly blurts out that Michael got a vasectomy. And she also reveals some of the conditions of their legal separation, like they can't sleep in the same bed and certain things like that they have to fulfill to, I guess, meet the conditions of a separation, which makes sense. Then they quickly move on to Candiace. Candiace talks about how Chris doesn't want to be around the group anymore. I understand that. It just sucks that Giselle is constantly successful with getting people to not want to be around the group anymore with her antics. That really sucks. Then they talk about Ashley dating. Like, they are just hopping all over the place, spilling all the tea. Apparently, Ashley was seen dating a hockey player. Now, I had already heard about this before the season started, when rumors went out that she was divorcing Michael. They were already talking about her dating, but I forgot until they talked about it here. Then they moved on to Karen and Ray. Apparently, Karen was sneaking out with someone who was not Ray. Now, what do Karen got going on? Karen is one of my favorites. I love Karen, even though Karen does get caught up, lying quite a bit. She sometimes fronts, as she did with the flower picking. She said she was gonna put that in her little flower bed and pretend like it was expensive. Like, Karen do be fronting and she do be lying and clearly she be cheating. But I do love Karen. But what she got going on over there? Because it's not like we can say that they being messy and lying, because even Ray said it. Even Ray was like, you be out here flirting with all these men. So then we move to Mia and Gordon, and Mia is talking about this chiropractic business, to which we now know that she currently does not have any access to. So again, it's just interesting seeing her talk about all of this stuff. She is planning a girls trip to Miami. Now, I do know that they have cash trips every season. But the thing that I'd be wondering is, like, do they take turns? Like, do they tell the ladies, okay, this season you're doing the trip and you're planning the trip? What is that on my neck? I don't know what that was. Okay. But yeah, I know they pay for the trips and stuff like that. So I just don't know how they come up with, like, whose trip it is. Is it like they say, okay, you're doing the trips this season, you'll do the trip next season? Like, I don't know. Do they tell them where they go? Do they tell them to pick a state or pick a country, or do they give them the state and the country? I don't know. I don't know how the cash trips work. That's always a thought that I had, like how they get set up. So then we move on to Robyn. Robyn has an appointment regarding her prenup. And she basically wants to protect both of her businesses, the Reasonably Shady podcast and also her hat line, which I think it's called Embellished. Also wants to make sure that if there is some infidelity, he gets Nathan. I do understand her wanting to protect both of her businesses because she did those things without him. I don't understand why Juan is, like, bothered by it, because don't they flip homes? They have a business together, so it's not like he's gonna have nothing. Like, y'all make money together. She just wants to separate the things that she built on her own without you. Like, that's completely understandable. But she also does admit that she is being realistic with the infidelity clause because he has cheated before, and she just wants to make sure that it's not happening again, which, yeah, she's being super realistic. If they ever even get married. Then we move on to Karen, Wendy, and Ashley. They go flower picking, which seems like a very nice activity, but it's clearly freezing. Wendy is trying to take ownership for everything that happened between her and Robyn, even though I agree that she does owe Robyn an apology for trying to make it seem like Robyn and Giselle were the only ones, like, questioning Mia's cancer, but I don't understand why she had to, like, admit to being condescending or whatever. I'm not saying that that's not true. She did used to bring up her degrees a lot, like her first season. But I don't think that's the issue between her and Robyn. I think the issue was that she was being a hypocrite I don't see what her being condescending has to do with this. I'm not saying Wendy doesn't have her condescending moments, but I don't feel like that had anything to do with her and Robyn's disagreement, if y'all get what I'm saying. So it's like she was trying to own something, which I respect, but like you're kind of owning the wrong thing, in my opinion. You should have owned you being a hypocrite and getting caught up on that mic saying that you think Mia is a liar. Like, that's what she should have apologized for. I don't know. But maybe she means Robyn got aggressive with her because she was being condescending. I don't know. But I don't agree with that either, because we see Robyn get aggressive again later in the episode. And we will get to that too. So Candiace is prepping for the re-release of her album, Deep Space, and she got Trina on it. Okay, Candiace. Okay, so it's time for Wendy's event. Wendy is being the bigger person. I believe she had genuine energy. She sent a sprinter van to come get them. And Robyn is just being childish. Like, she shows up and says, "Oh, I'm just here to be nosy." Robyn, when are you gonna grow up? Like, seriously. Last episode, she was on it. She was on point. She was calling everybody out. But one thing about Robyn is the moment you start rooting for her, she will let you down. So they finally get to the Wendy's, what is it, a cabin or something? I don't even remember what it was. She explains this burn book game that she came up with, and I really don't understand the game, like writing it down and then you burn it. I don't know. Everybody didn't burn their notes though. Only Mia burned her notes. So I didn't really get the point of the game. I guess she was trying to find a creative way to have everybody hash out their differences, but like, you could have came up with something a little less confusing. And also, if people have like a lot to say, like Ashley gave a speech, who finna write all that down? Candiace said something nice to her. Ashley said something nice to her. Karen did as well. We get to Mia, and then she burns Mia's note, which again, I don't get the concept, like whose notes get burned and whose don't. Whatever. Then Robyn, we get to Robyn, and Robyn kept it short and sweet. We are like oil and water, and we don't mix. And then Giselle goes ditto. So then her and Robyn talk a little more about what happened at Ashley's dancing event. And Robyn gets upset because Wendy was telling people that Robyn wanted to fight her. Now, I don't think Robyn wanted to fight her, but production did catch them slipping when she called Charisse and was like, Charisse, did anybody have to hold me back at that event? And Charisse was like, nope. And she was like, thanks, Charisse, love you. Yeah, you love her because she just lied for you. But production, on the other hand, is not playing with you. And they showed us that Charisse was actually holding you back. So to go back to the point about the taglines, when I talked about the taglines last week, and I said, Robyn, you just started telling the truth, so I don't know why you went with that tagline. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You are not always on time for the truth. So as Robyn is trying to explain how she did not get up and get in Wendy's face, and Wendy is exaggerating and she's not aggressive, she gets aggressive. She gets upset again. And in my opinion, Robyn is the most aggressive one in the group. I don't understand why she never gets called out on that. You put your fingers in Ashley's face.
Please put your fingers out of my face, Robyn.
This is putting my fingers in your face.
You almost fought Monique.
Say that. See what happens. You shut up. You famous as a woman.
You got hype with Wendy at the dance session, and now you're getting hype again. Like, Robyn is very emotionally immature. She does not know how to handle conflict without like getting loud or like threatening a fight or whatever. Like, she's just very emotionally immature. It's like watching a grown lady throw a temper tantrum. It's like, girl, have a conversation. Like, why do you always get so upset? And you was lying at that. She's always very loud and aggressive, but for some reason she always gets a pass. And the Moniques and the Wendys and the Candiaces are labeled aggressive, but Robyn can get up and scream and throw her arms around like a baby every time somebody comes at her for something. Like, it's really immature. And then Robyn leaves. Well, she really can't leave because they all rode together, honey. So you got to sit in that van with your attitude and wait for them to finish. So the episode is closing out. You know they got to end the episode with like a big bang, like argument or something that's going to spill over to the next week. So we go into Ashley and Candiace. Ashley completely blindsides Candiace. Ashley brings up the fact that one of her friends felt like Chris was trying to get with her or talk to her or whatever at Karen's spring party. When I tell you, when I watched this, Candiace was literally saying everything that I was saying. I was literally yelling at the TV as I was watching, like, girl, you was just over her house. Why you didn't say that? Candiace said that. And then Ashley goes, oh, well, she told me after. I don't really know that I believe that, but I'm sure Ashley like had her story together before she got there because she knew this was gonna look crazy. So then Candiace continues on again, saying everything that I am thinking. We're getting along. Like, what's the point of this? Why didn't you call me? Why would you wait until you get in front of these girls to once again accuse my husband of trying to hit on somebody else? Y'all were getting along. Like, what was the purpose? But then Ashley reveals her purpose. Like, she was getting get back. And at this point, it's like, okay, girl, whatever Candiace says or does to you at this point, I literally don't care. I'm not going to criticize Candiace for it unless she just goes too far again. Like when she called Ashley like a slave driver or Michael a slave driver or whoever. That was too far. I really don't care what Candiace does at this point because that was just so unnecessary. I'm quite disappointed in Ashley. Am I surprised? No, but I am very disappointed. Yeah, the episode ends there. This was a really good episode. It seems like things are just moving very quickly. Like it's just a lot going on this season. You get Candiace and Ashley just getting along, gossiping, all the tea in the beginning of the episode. Then towards the end of the episode, they back fighting again. Like they got along for all of 2 seconds. Am I the only one who feels like we're not getting anything from Wendy? Like, okay, we do know that she's trying to start a lounge and that, you know, she's stressed out and overworking herself, but she doesn't really get scenes like everybody else. Like Giselle had a scene with her daughters. You know, Ashley has her scenes talking about Michael. Candiace has her scenes with Chris, Karen and Ray, and Mia and Gordon. We don't really see Wendy and Eddie. Like, what's going on? Are they trying to like get rid of Wendy, or does she have a lot going on where she can't film? Like, what's going on? Wendy is like, they treat Wendy like a friend of the show this season so far, and I don't quite understand that. But those were my thoughts. What were your thoughts? Leave them down below. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.